That is me, on my way to winning the 2024 British National Hil Climb Championship. But what is a British Hil Climb, and how the hell did I even get here? Well, firstly, let me explain what actually is a British Hil Climb. British Hil Climbs are a very niche discipline of bike racing here in the UK. They're basically a time trial, but uphill. And as we don't really have any mountains in the UK, they are mostly very short, very steep, and very painful hills. Basically, you end up with a time trial that only lasts a couple of minutes at a very slow speed. But oh lord, are these things painful. Now, Hil Climb season only runs for 2 months of the year, from September to October. Why? I actually have no idea, that's just how it is. But every weekend during these 2 months, clubs all around the UK host their annual Hil Climb race, meaning there are a bunch to choose from every weekend depending on where you live. Cyclists of all levels are able to participate, from elite riders to kids to old bald men.
Look at this bald old man.
No, seriously, anyone can ride, making this niche pocket of the sport the most inclusive I've yet to encounter. Now, many riders customise their bikes specifically for hill climbs. Not governed by a strict cycling body like the UCI means stripping them down to their lightest possible setup. This means sanding off paint, cutting handlebar ends, drilling out holes from frames and brakes, and just buying the lightest carbon things possible. We basically single-handedly fund AliExpress for 2 months of the year. The bike I'm riding this year is an Old Cervelo RS rim brake frame from 2008. I bought it as it is with the paint already stripped from a fellow hill climber. It's equipped for SRAM Red ETAP 11-speed group set with a 32 on the rear and a 38 tooth chainring on the front. It's got a set of old school Dura AC 24 tubular wheels paired with some Vittoria Corsa speed tubs and my Favero Asioma dual-sided power meter pedals. The whole bike weighs around 5.3 and I can't remember if that's with or without pedals. Now I've explained what a hill climb is, I also need to explain how I got here, because my entry into cycling and background is a little bit different than other people's, and I feel like that's what's made this national title win a lot more special. Well, to me anyway. Now, if you want to go ahead just to see the racing, then skip ahead 5 minutes or so. Otherwise, I'm about to tell you about my alternative background, if you would, coming into cycling. Now, I was pretty sporty as a kid. I was a raging ADHD child that couldn't sit still for more than 5 seconds, which meant I was pretty good in sport. In school, I used to run a little bit. I was even in the rugby team, believe it or not. But then puberty hit and I started going from first team to second team, and then they were like, you should just start running. But around the same time, I also started getting in trouble in school. I started smoking and drinking at quite an alarming level. I ended up getting kicked out of multiple schools, and then it wasn't long before I was arrested for the first time around age 17. And yeah, life was really starting to spiral at this point. During this period, one summer's day, I decided to take my dad's station bike out. I think I rode 50k, and with no food, no water, I came back and I was absolutely broken. And I kind of thought, man, this is wicked. I started doing it again and again and again, to the point where he just got really pissed off. And then for my 18th birthday, he then bought me a bike. Since then, I've basically rode every single day. Now, over the next 10 years, cycling completely changed my life, but it was not an instant change. I still smoke and drank heavily. I was working in pubs, so I'd be riding in the day and then working and drinking after work in the evening. But gradually, I started to grow out of these bad habits. In 2018, I did my first bike race. I died a million deaths, but I kind of thought, man, this is flipping awesome. And slowly started to do a bit more. At that same time, I started taking some hilly comms out in Surrey, making a bit of a local name for myself. But the smoking and drinking still massively held me back. I did eventually quit smoking, but just replaced it with vaping. And because I was still drinking like 4 or 5 days a week, I was also socially smoking 4 or 5 days a week. So I wasn't really making any progress there. A couple years down the line after that, I finally quit all smoking. And my performance started to climb, and it hasn't really seen a decline yet. And listen, I'm going to be honest, I still occasionally enjoy a cigarette at the pub. I'm just human. The difference now is that I can kind of control when I do it. I'll go sober for months at a time training, and then in a break between racing for a few weeks, I go to the pub a lot. So what? I'm English. I wish I didn't enjoy it, but I do. And then one day my friend Tobias told me that there's this thing called the National Hil Climb Championships. I never even knew this niche pocket of the sport had a National Hil Climb Championships, and that I should enter. So I said, why the hell not? Like, where do I sign up? Fast forward some time, I decided to enter the National Hil Climb Championship 2020. This was, I believe, my first ever CTT hill climb, which is the governing body that puts on 99% of these hill climbs. Now I have a friend that took me to Recce the Nationals course about less than a week prior, and unfortunately, of the morning of the National 2020, she was supposed to come to that event to support and have fun. Unfortunately, we received the news that she had taken her own life the night prior, and I had never received such news like this, and the kind of news that it was as well, if you know what I mean. And I kind of went in and out of breaking down and being fine. I didn't really know how to process this, to be honest. And then it got to the point where obviously I wasn't gonna go to this event. I remember speaking to my mum, and she said, "Go on, do it for Rachel." And something just kind of clicked in my brain, and I went, "Okay, yeah." So me and my dad packed up the car and allegedly sped down the motorway in complete silence, and I was still processing what had happened with trying to process getting ready for this race. My mind was just in like a million different places. We got there, I think we had about 25 minutes until my start time, and if anyone knows, going to an event, that is not enough time. That's not even enough time to warm up, let alone get ready, get the bike out, warm up, everything. I think I forgot my timing chip, I forgot that. My warm up was the ride from the car park to the start line. Went and did it and somehow got joint 10th, and immediately broke down afterwards as well with everything that just happened. It was a very weird day. Anyway, after that, I then kind of knew hill climbing is my calling, if you would. I was okay at racing, but hill climbing I was very good at for some reason. Very short, very hard efforts. Not sure why, that's just how I was built. Over the next few hill climb seasons, I basically won 99% of my events, and even came fourth at the National Hil Climb 1 year prior, the 2023 National Hil Climb Championships, where I did forget my skin suit. Let's just say that's why I came fourth and not third. Probably also had not as many watts as the person who came third, but whatever. And now this brings me on to the 2024 season. So I had some pretty up and down fitness and motivation during this year. I have a whole road and crit season, starting from about March. So come to about middle of the year, I kind of burnt out a bit. And I was trying to train 20 hours a week, around a 9 to 5. And I was just kind of burning out a lot. There's a lot of traveling, racing. I remember mid-season, I just kind of packed it in. I was just like, man, I can't be bothered with this. I kind of binned off the racing, binned off the coach. I couldn't do anything. I just kind of gave up. I was still riding my bike once or twice a week, but just kind of for fun, no training. And I kind of thought, I don't think I'm even going to do hill climb season this year. A few weeks away from the start of the hill climb, I kind of started training a bit again. I'll just take it as it comes, see what I want to do. And then if I can't be bothered with it, then I pack it in. I also had a holiday booked with some non-cycling friends. So in the first few weeks of hill climb season, I was actually on a beach in Portugal smoking and drinking every single day. Although I have quit smoking, like I said, every now and again. So I can promise you this is probably the worst thing you can do coming into the hill climb season. Now the day after I got back, I had one of my first hill climbs, the urban hill climb. And yeah, I felt pretty bad. I was in pretty rough shape for this, but I have no idea how. I somehow won it. And after that, I thought, man, I'm going all in. From that point onwards, I did not have a sip of alcohol, just training as hard as I could for the next month and a half until the Nationals. And I slowly got better and better and better. Now, I hope this doesn't come across like I'm trying to say, oh, I smoke sometimes and win hill climbs, I'm so cool. No, it's really stupid and I wish I never started. But I do just want to be 100% honest with this story and who I am. Yes, by the way, that is a mattress behind me. Anyway, let's get into it. I started off by doing what any sane person trying to save a few grams would do, and shave their head. I was now both lighter and more aerodynamic. After that, the stupid early mornings commenced. But this was made up by seeing friendly faces I haven't seen since last hill climb season, and the warm welcome of tea and cake in the village hall HQs. So before I went away, I actually did 2 hill climbs at the start of the year. The first off was the Elevate Hill Climb, my first hill climb of the year. Nothing can prepare you for the first all-out max effort of the year. It's going to really hurt. I pushed 618 watts for 1 minute 44 and took the win. A good result, but I knew I was very far off from where I actually wanted to be. Next week was Streatley Hill. I've won this event for the last 2-3 years, and I just about pipped my friend Josh this year for the win again. This time pushing 662 watts for 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
El Bosch. 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 Bosch.
Then I did go on holiday to Portugal with my friends, sat on a beach and wrote off my body for a week straight. But I did manage to hire my bike and I got out for a couple of hours for a few days, so it wasn't a completely wasted trip. The day after I got back, I had the urban hill climb, the only hill climb in central London. And like I said, I have no idea how I managed to take the win on this again, doing 658 watts for 1 minute 25 seconds. And right then and there, I knew I was going complete monk mode, training as if my life depended on it. Now, the day after this, I got severely ill. It might have been something to do with doing a complete all-out effort after a week of just, ruining my body. And since I couldn't train this week, I just spent this week kind of walking outside, getting fresh air, just trying to stay a little bit active. And of course, talking to birds. Sky birds, of course, I'm too afraid to talk to women. Anyway, that weekend I had the second biggest hill climb of the year. It's called Bostal Hil Climb, a massive one on the calendar, draws in the top hill climbers from all around the country. I was still a little bit ill, but mostly recovered. My internals were screaming, but my legs were actually really, really fresh. Bostal was also extremely short, so I knew I could be on for a good result here. This is me at my friend's house the night before trying to unbung myself with Obus oil.
Ah, yes. Danny, you know that chili stuff you gave me? It's burnt and it's burnt a hole in my arsehole. I've been in the toilet for like the last 20 minutes. Yeah, it hurts. Weight saving for one sort going well. I had a little bit too much of this stuff and my arsehole is on fire.
We packed up and headed up north, arrived, sided on and spectated for a little while. Bets on the winner this year.
This year's winner. My inside bet this week was you.
No, but I've been out of action.
Andy's the man. We've got some good road riders coming. So James.
Yeah.
He could.
But are they hill climbers?
Yeah, and also James Hartley.
Mr. James Hartley.
So it's a three-way battle between
There we
Alec
go.
and four-way.
Then came the actual climb itself. I gave everything I possibly could in this hill climb. Although I didn't feel great, the legs actually felt amazing with the rest that I have. So that didn't really matter. I managed to push 731 watts for 1 minute 21, landing me in second place, just getting pipped by Andy 0.2 seconds away. I was gutted as this was one that I really wanted to win, but I was really happy with second place with the week that I had. And that is Malcolm Elliott. That guy has the course record here, which is the longest standing course record in CTT history. Fair play to the guy.
What are you eating? Nugget. This is what you need after a hill climb.
I spent the next few days recovering properly, and during this time I came up with the wacky idea of attacking my bike with a paint pen. Not just that, but I had the idea to get everyone to write on it. Spectators, organisers, racers' kids, cats and dogs, your grandma, whoever. And get them to write whatever the hell they wanted. No rules or regulations because the UCI. And it was next weekend's hill climb where I would hand the pen off to the first person, a photographer. So this race is actually a double header, and this happens a lot in hill climbs. Basically, you get 1 or 2 clubs that want to organise a hill climb on the same day in the same kind of area. So what they do is they talk to each other and have one earlier in the morning and then one later on in the day, meaning people can do both or just one or the other, drawing in more entries and more crowds. The first one was called Catford HC Hill Climb. This race is actually the oldest, longest running cycle race in the entire world. Yes, the entire world. So I actually did a sprint session a few days prior and my body really didn't seem to like that. So my legs were pretty shot, but I did still manage to hold on for another second place today, managing 618 watts for 1 minute 54. Just getting pipped by my mate Ewan, who was going really well this year.
Oh yeah. This is what you need after a hill climb. Oh yeah. Winner over here. Pew!
What are you going to write? I think we need to write smaller. I think your mother has taken over my entire fort. You can draw something if you want, like... I'm going to draw a massive phallus.
Yeah, he's got a checkered flag. I like that. We like drawings. Yeah. And Ewan's also decided to write the date that he absolutely walloped me up the climb. Yeah. Well, oh, HM1, you love it.
Later that day we had Bec Cycle Club Hill Climb. This is another one that I've managed to win the last few years in a row, so I was fairly confident coming into it. I managed to pop out 620 watts for 1 minute 53, 2 more watts than earlier for the race at the same time. Just about getting the win here. After a good week of training, the next week was another double header in the South Downs. I took my first hill climb win in the morning, popping out 481 watts for 3 minutes 49. And then me and Mark, who by the way takes fantastic race photos, I'll pop his link down in the description. We both went and did what any other serious athlete does before the second all-out effort of the day. We went to a cafe and we got a full English breakfast.
Have another hill climb in a bit, and what do we get? Full English. 2 hours before the next hill climb. This is what you need.
The hill climb later on the day was actually predicted to have a very, very high average speed. So I took my aero bike as well as my hill climb bike. Because some hill climbs in the UK are very fast and have downhills, just like this one. I managed to also win this event and get the course record. I popped out 404 watts for 8 minutes and 20 seconds. And I got a lovely bottle of Shiraz too. After another good week of training, me and Ryan then headed up north for another big event, Bank Road, where the Nationals have actually been held multiple times before. And what else to do when you got a couple of hours to kill, then explore the local town.
I reckon that's like all the Lynx Africa my nan's ever bought is in there.
This is actually one of my favourite parts about hill climbs, is just exploring these local places that you randomly get taken to do these hill climbs. There's a lot of fun stuff to see.
So this is the course for later. That is... You said it's not even too steep?
It doesn't feel steep when you race.
Mate, that's
Bank Road was a great event, but I just got pipped for first place by Andy, who also pipped me at Monsell too. Today he got me by less than a second again, but Andy is also one of the top hill climbers in the UK, so again I knew I was making real ground here. All that really mattered to me was my power was looking better day by day, just like my hill climb bike. It was great to see everyone just getting stuck in and writing whatever the hell they want. I did then break my no alcohol streak, but it was justified because it was kind of within a sporting event.
is what you need after a hill climb.
This is what you need during the hill climb and before. 2 before, 1 during,
and 1 after.
4 after.
This is what you need after a hill climb.
It is 2 days before Nationals and making some last minute adjustments to the bike. I don't really care too much about like tiny little things, but Nationals sometimes, and as I've learned from, you know, hill climbs, it's won by 0.123 of a second sometimes, and little things make a difference. So the external for this, I switched out. This was 7 grams, but I went even further and took these out and actually just took the electronic body off and just taped them on. Which has saved me many grams. Is it going to make a difference? Well, it's hill climbing, you know. People do all sorts of stuff. It's kind of fun doing this kind of stuff. I don't sell drugs, by the way. I bought this for other reasons. Now, I was feeling pretty good for my fitness and my season so far. I had won 6 hill climbs and came second 4 times. So my legs felt in pretty good shape. But in all honesty, for Nationals, I was just aiming for a podium. I was hoping to scrape 2nd or 3rd place as the favourite Andrew Feather. That guy is just in a whole different league. With my eyes set on the podium, I packed my bags and headed up north. Made it. Made it to the travel lodge. Castilla, Hexham, get me. Look at this stupendous view, amazing. I'm just eating a bacon roll. We're gonna head out, go recce the climb. So I went to recce the climb. It was called Dipton Mill Road. Now this climb was 1.2 kilometers with an average gradient of 9.8% and a maximum gradient of 13.4%. I then went to probably the nicest sign on for a hill climb I have ever been to. Who's gonna win? It's me. Tadej Pogacar, apparently. And then before you knew it, I had to hit the sack to get some good shut-eye for the big day tomorrow. Good morning. It is the morning of the National Championship. I have been in bed and it is now 11 o'clock, which is 2 hours before my start time, so I should get ready. I have a secret weapon this year. This is creatine, I promise, which is in here. This secret weapon. This is bicarb soda, yeah. With golden syrup and water, because apparently it tastes like shit. And this is very good for max efforts, so let's test it out. I forgot to film myself drinking it, but that is disgusting. That is like drinking salty piss. Oh, my stomach is not agreeing with that. Some people apparently shit themselves with it. Oh, the stuff we do for this sport. I headed down to the hill to spectate a little before throwing my pen at some willing people, and before I knew it, I was warming up. Gorgeous. Man, Northumberland ain't too bad, you know. I just started warming up. I chose actually to give myself a real big warm up today. I'm going to give myself an hour and a bit, an hour and 20 maybe, just to get really everything going. I find, you know, going to hill climbs half an hour, 40 minutes is alright, but I'm going to try and dig deeper than I've ever gone in my entire life, basically. And that requires, oh my god, I'm running out of gears. I gotta go. All right, I'm back. I found another gear. So my tactic for this race is gonna be a little bit different than basically all other hill climbs I've done. I always basically go for a negative split. Sometimes I have choice, sometimes that's just the way it is. I'll withhold a bit and then I just have a massive sprint at the end for like the last 30 seconds, which means there is always a lot more that I could give. So I basically plan to go so hard and have absolutely nothing left at the end, and basically if I do have that final sprint, do it before the line and then just crawl to the line for like the last 20-30 seconds. I want to be like completely broken by the time I get to the finish. So yeah, fingers crossed. After a good warm-up, I found myself on the start line. I don't generally get nervous before races, but today I felt really quite on edge for this one. Everything had come down to this exact moment.
10.
Is this the one I finish or when I start?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Go!
Yeah, this side. Leading, boy, leading. What? Leading at the moment.
Me? Oh, mate. Fuck, that's the hardest I've ever pushed myself.
In third place, Kieran Wise, 8 seconds down. In second place, Andrew Feather.
Oh my god, wait.
1 second behind the winner, Harry.
Yes! No fucking go! Yes! Wait, I won! You won! Nah! By 1 second! No! You won! Bro! No fucking way! Well done, man! No fucking way! Yes! Oh my god! What the fuck? Yes! Well done. Oh my god! No fucking way!
Now, I may not have won the Tour de France, but it definitely felt like it. For me, the idea of actually winning Nationals wasn't even in the equation. But rewind some years, neither was even competing at the Nationals, or even racing a bike full stop. And now, anyone winning the National Hil Climb Championship is a massive achievement. But knowing where I was in life prior and making it all the way here, for me, that was really special. Young me would have laughed if you told him that one day he'd win this. But hey, looks like we proved him wrong. And I think I showed the version of myself now that you can really do what you think is impossible, just with a little bit of hard work and determination.
What did you do, man? I can't get it. Oh my god.
National champ.
I can't believe that.
It's unreal, man.
Right, you're right. This is what hill climbing does to you.
After celebrating with some friends, we headed back to HQ, where I immediately downed any pint of Guinness within a 5-metre radius of me. The bike was also getting attacked by people with my pen left, right and centre. That's also part of what made this win special, winning it on a bike that the whole hill climb community had a part in creating, with everyone leaving their permanent message or drawing on the frame. Almost like it gave me extra power somehow. And I made a little impromptu speech, dedicating the win to my friend Rachel.
But, you know, I thought if I'd ever won the Nationals, I would devote this to her. So this is to my late friend Rachel. Hey!
After that, we then did what any sane person would do after winning such a race.
This is what you need.